Hey Wellness Warriors, Diane Kazer with Die Hard Wellness, and ladies, this one is something that has come up more than any other complaint I've heard from clients, family, and friends combined. And maybe because it's the first thing we notice and feel compelled to address because we identify with it as a feature that defines our beauty. We're going to get real today. So the question today, Diane, why am I losing so much hair? First off, I'm not a doctor, and this video is not intended to treat or cure any disease, as I must say legally. Okay, moving on. So, why? Why am I all of a sudden seeing my locks decorate my drain and being donated to my brush? Why? There is quite a few theories to this, and until I test my clients, it's guesswork, but one of the most common ones is too much estrogen in the body, which is caused by a number of different things. It could be use of the birth control pill, phytoestrogens in plastic, soy is an estrogenic food, parabens, which are in our personal care product, pesticides that are sprayed in our produce, mineral imbalances, heavy metal toxicity, and what you've likely heard from your doctor, which is stress. So as long as I keep hearing stories from you guys that your doctor passed the blame to you and that that's all that this is emotional stress and that's the reason why you're losing your hair, I'm going to be making videos like this till I die. Because stress does play a big role, but not the only role, as there's also diet and rest and exercise and supplementation to consider in the 5 acronyms in the protocol I use in my practice, which is called Dress for Success. So today I'm going to keep it simple for you and discuss one of the major key players in clearing things up for you from a sexy standpoint. Now let's get into the solution. First of all, I'm not saying that this one-trick pony that I'm going to talk about today is going to solve all of your problems, because our bodies are so much more complex than that. I'm simply sharing this with you for the mere fact that I realize that most women come to me once they've hit the proverbial wall and they're forced to deal with their health, and on average have had the run around in like 3 to 5 appointments with various doctors who are telling you that you're normal because your test results say so, and dismiss your emotional concerns and the very things that we perceive make us sexy. Take away our hair and our glowing skin and our sexy curves and sex drive, as well as our nurturing instinct, and you have one overwhelmed, depressed woman. So what is this herb that I'm referring to? Let's get into that. It's called Dimpro. This is what it looks like. The makers for this one is Da Vinci. See how it says Dimpro here? I'm going to put a link on this. It's not that expensive of an herb, but it's a very potent herb, and I feel like I need to share this with you because it's really done a lot to help change my life. It's a tiny little pill here, so it's not like a big horse pill. It's a dietary supplement for support hormonal balance and weight management for men and women. Yes, men have estrogen too, and in fact, for the most part, pretty much every client that comes into me who's a man and I test has estrogen dominance. So it hangs out in the liver a lot, and it just doesn't get metabolized properly. So as the reviews state, it helps with hormonal swings by inspiring a beneficial shift in the balance of estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone in both men and women. So in the world of functional medicine and homeopathy, this herb says, I'm kind of a big deal. People know me. Like wine and cheese, it pairs nicely with bioidentical hormone support if you're using those. For the record, though, hormone replacement therapy has gotten a really bad rap in the medical community because it's been popular in mainstream and conventional medicine to administer synthetic hormones that your body can't adequately utilize without some really serious side effects such as strokes, blood clots, breast cancer, among others. Your birth control, actually, ladies, is a culmination of like 28 or so artificial estrogens, which is why your hair is probably falling out. I've heard this a lot from women who say that they've gotten off the birth control pill and their hair starts to grow back, but it does take a while. This is what I'm helping my clients with, is helping them to rebound from the pill. One of the side notes as well. The types of plant compounds that I use in my practice are safely administered, and they're called bioidentical hormones, which is what the body welcomes because it's like the same protein structure as our body. Unlikely with the other ones, the bioidentical synthetic ones, they don't have side effects because they're plant-based and hence recognized by our body as a gift from Mother Nature. I rarely recommend bioidenticals without the Dimpro because the Dimpro helps to flush those estrogens from the liver that are hanging out still and causing all of this poor skin, rashes, hair falling out, fatigue, overwhelming, can't fall asleep, all the side effects that you ladies are experiencing today. I've seen a lot of women, their acne clears up immensely just by taking this one thing. And again, this is not the one trick pony, but it does help a lot. So why not try it? So you're probably wondering if Denpro is for you. Well, it's your call, but like I said, the odds are super high that it's going to help you with your health complaints like tenfold. Being that 1 in 10 women have hypothyroidism, pretty much all of us have an overly toxic liver that's clogged full of estrogen, and 90% of us have adrenal fatigue, which drains our ability to produce hormones in balance and help us to cope, because our adrenals help us to cope with stress. It affects our mood, looks, sleep, and sex life. And so I'm reluctant to recommend an herb such as this without having explored deeper into what your problem is, but it's probably going to provide some relief and restore kick-ass skin and hair in some, but in others, bioidentical hormones may be necessary to completely bring the systems that dictate the genetic expression of your hair and your skin and your weight, nails, and other external glowing features that make us really pretty women. So I realize how not sexy it is to talk about poop, the health of your liver, and how boring it is to talk about adrenals, but these are the things that once repaired, your outward beauty will shine too. And you can stop taking withdrawals from your 401k to fund your external efforts to awesome skin and hair and expensive creams and surgeries and injections and all sorts of expensive procedures. So I get it, priorities. When presented with two options, like thicker hair or a cleaner liver, I'm just going to guess that 95% of us would pick thicker hair, right? Or like trimmer waistline or clearer skin, whatever the external goal may be that you're challenged to struggling with. And that's totally okay. Just remember, if you're struggling with these things on the outside, it's a clue, insight that your body's trying to tell you that there's something going awry on the inside, that if you don't address it now, you will be forced to later. You might be surprised to know that 90% of your adrenals must be shot before conventional tests will be able to detect a problem. And at that rate, it's too much of an uphill battle for most women to struggle through. Same for your thyroid. Once they detect something's wrong, the only way to maintain the same quality of life that you're struggling through all the time, that has amounted to that moment at the time that you're exploring it, it's taking some heavy drugs for the rest of your life to feel somewhat of a relief, which is what I was told 10 years ago. And that's when my proverbial light bulb to all of this went off. And I was like, this isn't bullshit detector. 10 years ago is when that happened. And I'm still struggling with the aftermath of various types of birth control and taking Accutane to clear the cystic acne I had on my face, which was most likely just like what everybody else experiences. It's just an influx of imbalanced hormones in my adrenals and in my ovaries. And thankfully today, I'm more wide awake now than ever. And no prescriptions, and I'm still humbled when others compliment me on my skin and my hair health without the use of any kind of birth control. I have a really big deal of thanks to herbals such as Denpro and plant-based hormones that I've taken over the years to bring me back to life, but a lot of it was guesswork until I took the tests on my adrenals and my liver and these minerals to know what was really going on in my body. If your health is a 9 or a 10 on the priority scale, I welcome you to have a look at my site as to the testing that I offer as a functional medicine nutritionist. But if you're still dabbling and experimenting, that's okay too. I did that for 15 years until it got so bad that I felt borderline bipolar and had to figure out what was going wrong with me because it wasn't the me that I used to know. It was a slow thing. It happened slowly over the years, and I refused to accept it. It was the new me. So I took a leap and I did my tests, and I was blown away at the results. However, it didn't entirely surprise me because they totally made sense. Correlation. I was super high copper dominant, and of course when there's copper that's high, then estrogen is high too, because those two commonly go hand in hand. So if one's high, then most likely so is the other. And what I found was that a high hair tissue mineral analysis copper level together with low potassium produce reactions that are often given a diagnosis of bipolar disorder. And I have severe low potassium. So I'll repeat that. A high tissue mineral analysis copper level together with a low potassium mineral level produce reactions that are like bipolar disorder. So this is one of the excerpts I had from my first hair tissue mineral analysis. The calcium-potassium ratio is called a thyroid ratio. It said to me, Diane, your ratio between calcium and potassium is very high, 335 to 1. The ideal calcium-potassium ratio is 4 to 1, like 4 to 1. Mine was 335 to 1. Mine was 80 times higher than normal, which is associated with a super slow activity of thyroid function and adrenal fatigue. So my metabolic rate went down. That explained where the old me went. And it says that energy production diminishes and the drop in energy may manifest as depression and lack of motivation that's related to building up a high copper level. I had a copper IUD in for a couple of years, and that's actually when I started noticing I wasn't myself anymore. Copper and estrogen together lower the potassium level and raise calcium, resulting in a very high calcium to potassium ratio. I mean, what doctor is going to test for this? They don't. It frustrates me that this is not standard in medical care, and that's why I studied to be an FDN, so I could offer it to women who need answers just like I did. So what does this all mean? Hair loss, bad skin, mood swings, weight gain, those are just scratching the surface of symptoms that we get when our thyroid and our adrenals are shot. So this video is about beauty, but as you can see, I can go off forever on the cascade of corruption that estrogen dominance can wreak inside of the body. Here's your takeaway, guys. If you're suffering from any of the symptoms that I talked about today, give Dim Pro a go. It helped me immensely in my struggle to find my waistline again, among other things. And once I started taking this herb, along with having my copper IUD removed, I lost 6 pounds and 2.5% body fat in 3 days. 6 pounds, 2.5% body fat in 3 days. So it really did wonders for me. Hopefully it will for you too. I've heard this testimonial from many women, so that I would not have done this video if it wasn't something that I had faith in that would help you too. And how can you get it? So I've included the link on the online pharmacy store that I use, and I get a little bit of kickback from it for these videos that I'm producing. It's sold for $19.99 plus shipping, and a lot of other websites are selling it for like $25, so this will save you some money as well. What I normally do is I stock up so I don't have to buy any for a while and to save money on shipping. Now, when you get it, how many should you take? Now, again, I can't give medical advice, but this is what I did. It says that the bottle says take 1 to 2 pills twice a day. 1 pill, if you can tolerate it, that might be good for you twice a day. If you can't tolerate 2, then I'd take 2. Like I said, if you start by taking 1 in the morning and then see how that feels, and 1 at night, see how that feels. And then if you're fine, then you could take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. That's what I did every day, twice a day. I did it when I woke up and then before I went to bed on an empty stomach, away from meals for a couple of months until my symptoms were gone. And this herb isn't one that you need to take forever, so it's awesome. This whole like you need to take this prescription forever thing does not apply here with homeopathy. And ideally, if you're on the pill or if you have an IUD like I did, basically any kind of birth control that messes with your hormones, I would consider taking this alongside of it, because a lot of times we get a lot of clogged congestion in our liver that estrogen resides that can't get metabolized out of the body. So Dim Pro helps with that. Realize that the majority of men I have coming into my practice are estrogen dominant as well. So this is something I recommend to a lot of guys too, especially ones that struggle with their weight or who are developing man boobs. Okay, guys, I think that's enough saturation on this topic for now. I will elaborate in another video if you need me to. But for now, I'm Diane Kazer with Die Hard Wellness, bringing to you another important message of how to be proactive with your health the natural way, inspiring you to listen to your body and empowering you with education so that you can be your own best doctor. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my videos using the link below. Like me on Facebook, share this video with others, and comment below with any questions that you might have. You can also catch me weekly with my sexy sidekick, Darren McDuffie, on our new podcast, Wellness Warrior Radio, downloadable on iTunes. Happy hair, skin, and waistline, and I'll see you next time.